What's up, guys? It's your boy Spikes. So, welcome to SummerTalk, and this is SummerInt. So, this is my first time doing SummerInt, and I have to bring out one of my good friends who is, I believe, one of the most interesting sneaker collectors that I know. And his name is Gary. And without further ado, let's bring him up in. So, welcome, Gary. All right, so why don't you tell our audiences a little bit about yourself before we start going into details?
My name is Gary Chong. I actually grew up in KK, so basically born and bred in Kota Kinabalu. I'm basically working as an engineer in the oil and gas industry, and I've been collecting basically sneakers, actively collecting since 2012. Okay. So it's about 9 years now.
So during the 2012, for those who do not know yet, we are talking about sneakers today, and Gary is a sneaker collector. So you said you started in 2012, right? So at that time, during 2012, what was like the hype? What was the most sought after pair at that time, or models, as we can say?
I think at the time, if I recall correctly, it was the time when they started coming back with some retros on black and red AJ11. And they also, the following year, they came back with AJ1 bread colorway. So those really kick-started the whole hype around sneaker culture again. And if you remember at that time, even Kanye himself was seen wearing some Jordan retro. So that really pushed the whole sneaker scene forward.
So, yeah, at that time it was Jordans, and Nike was bringing back all the retro shoes. So for you, how about your own story? For you, how did you start picking up collecting sneakers, or probably start buying your first pair of sneakers?
Yeah, in fact, for myself, I did not actively collect before 2012 or 13. I'm a user myself. I do wear some Jordans in the past, and also some Kobe's, whatever. I'm basically a sneaker enthusiast. I like using them. But in 2012, I remember there are more advertisements that you can see, or there's also becoming more popular on Facebook. People started posting a lot of sneaker content, and being one of the most sought after sneaker, like the Bread 11 that is coming out in that year, and that really caught my eye. And it basically brought me back to my childhood memory, when during our younger days, we started watching basically Michael and the Chicago Bulls performing, and those shoes, when you see them on your phone or whatever on the social media, you're like, I need to get this, and that's when it really kick-started for me.
And I believe because when we were younger and we were seeing all these players wearing these shoes, and they were playing in the NBA, and we wanted to somehow relate, but we couldn't afford to buy because we were still kids, and we wouldn't have that spending power. So when we started growing up, and then at that point Nike started coming back with these kind of shoes, we actually tried to get it lah. So that actually that's how you started sneaker collecting. So if I may ask, right, how many pairs of sneakers have you collected so far?
Oof, that's a tough one. Definitely, it's more than 100 pairs, but less than 200, I would say. Somewhere in between.
In between 100 and
I don't know,
pairs.
I lost count of the numbers. I used to count it. I actually still have a logbook saying what I own, in case I forgot.
So you still record it down?
I record it down. I record it in my phone now.
Oh, that's really dope.
Yeah.
That's really dope. At least you can look back and actually track back.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of sneaker heads start buying and collecting, and sometimes you just forget what's in your inventory, and then when you go back and start looking at it, and you just realize, hey, I actually have this pair that I don't really remember. Yeah. So Gary, you've been collecting and buying sneakers for the past 8 years now. I would like to know, or maybe the audiences would like to know that what is your most memorable coping experience?
There's a couple of them. It's a bit hard to rank them. But I would say in the early times, one of the most memorable moments for me is when I first got back to KK. Because I used to work outside of KK in KL, and when I moved back, as we all know, in KK it's not easy to get any stickers, and there's not so many means to get them. And I reached out to some resellers online and on Facebook, And I found one of basically one of the guy who happened to be a committee or active committee of KKSOS, KK Soul of Soul. Just shout out to KKSOS.
Yeah.
And I actually bought a pair of the Jordan 7, champagne and cigar.
Yeah. The pack, right?
The pack, yeah. And I didn't know. They told me, okay, come to this place. They are having some happy hours. Just come meet the guys and collect your shoes. So that's what I did. And that's when I met the whole bunch, Happy Bunch from KKSOS, and that was really memorable for me. But in terms of queuing up physically and getting a pair, this is about a year ago in Amsterdam. I actually went there in October. It was freezing cold actually in the morning. Queuing up there since about 8:30 up to 12, and then waiting for your turn to go into the shop one by one in Pata, just to score this Jordan 7 Pata. That was pretty good, exciting experience. What I learned actually is that the sneaker culture in Europe, people are very calm, people are very, very polite, and unlike some of the scenes that we've seen in Asia.
Because I believe every sneakerhead will have this memorable coping experience where you have to line up, you know, some even for days, you know. There were cases even in KL, there were people lining up outside malls for days, you know, to just cope a pair of shoes.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is the whole crazy thing about the whole sneaker culture nowadays. So for the next question, I really want to know your thoughts about the differences between the sneaker culture back then and now in 2020, as of this recent 2-3 years where, you know, how the sneaker culture has really blew up in a sense, right? So what do you think the differences are?
It has definitely evolved a lot. I think back then, releases were not as frequent as today. As we know today, if you go to Sneakers app, you can see almost on weekly basis there are definitely something coming out, and keeping you busy, keeping your sneaker ass busy, And in those days, it's not that frequent, especially for pairs that are sought after. They come out in probably every 1 or 2 months. And at the time, it was the beginning, and like what you mentioned really pointed out clearly. I mean, at the time, people would physically go to the store, go line up. I personally line up in a few times in Nike, but not overnight. But I know people line up overnight for really, really hype releases. And at the time, people really fighting for it, and the number of pairs that were allocated to Malaysia market also was very, very minimal. So it was very, very difficult to get at your hand at those pairs. And what has changed over the years is things were now available online within a matter of click. People start buying stuff online and using even softwares to assist them in higher possibility of securing a pair. And that has changed. And also the whole reselling thing started on Facebook and whatnot, right? And that really changed the whole scene. And it has become from, I think initially it was really enthusiast people who really love sneakers, who wanted to get their hands on it. And it slowly shifted to the whole business basically scene.
Because I believe sneakers have become one of the trending fashion thing nowadays.
Yes.
So I think it becomes to a point where the demand is actually much bigger than how it used to be. I remember, and also talking about what you said about technology helping in coping and buying sneakers nowadays, right? I remember when I just started buying sneakers as well. I was still studying in KL, and then at that time we always went to Times Square, and we had to, we didn't have Facebook or any apps that you can follow and know the releases dates, right?
That's true.
So what we did was that we actually had to go to the shop all the time, make friends with the staffs there, and to get release dates, before.
Get hints, right?
Yeah, get hints from them. So I believe the experience back then, for me, the experience back then was a lot more harder than how it is nowadays. It's much more easier to get a pair of sneakers these days.
And also you pointed out, like in the early days, people basically go to the shop, get that in-store experience. In fact, you could even try on, get your size right, even though it's a hot release. But that has entirely changed now. Nobody is going, those hype releases are not coming to the store. And people basically just, okay, I remember this is probably my size, hit that button and then...
Yeah, I think people nowadays will probably know how their feet will fit in different kind of models these days. Because it's what they want, So sneakers are basically, I think everyone would probably want a pair of nice sneakers to go out to.
For sure, yeah.
So, yeah. Next question, I really want to know your thoughts about resellers.
Resellers, I have mixed feeling for them, to be honest. I think the industry or the whole sneaker culture scene couldn't exist without them. Years ago, when we don't have them, I mean, that's when the whole entire sneaker scene has not really started to boom, right? But with this whole reseller in the background, they help push the market. They play a very important role in the supply-demand game and definitely contributed in pushing the whole sneaker culture forward. Although people may think that, okay, yeah, they're just out here to make some quick bucks, people that really wanted the shoe couldn't get their hands on it. But again, if they're using I think a lot of the shoe stores nowadays, sneaker stores, they're really introducing very fair and square method for each and every one of us to acquire a pair, either via raffle or via some sort of lucky draw kind of stuff, right? So it is a fair and square game. And definitely there are also some bots or whatever software you can use still, but and still, I mean, with these resellers in the scene, they help set some demand for the people, increase it, and also for me, whenever somebody couldn't score a pair, for example, like I took an L, on these recent releases, but how do I fulfill my needs? And maybe I could look back to resellers and say, hey, can I get a pair from you? But I guess the ethical part that needs to be embedded in reseller is that they sell it at quite a reasonable price. I mean, we can all agree that, okay, definitely they are out there to make a living. There's a reason why they sell it at this price, because they've been queuing for past 2 days or some sort, or they've been spending money on the software and bots, that helps them to increase their probability of winning. There's no 100% of winning, as I know.
Yeah.
So for me, I see them as like a partnership, between buyers, sellers, and also in the whole scene. So it's important to have them there, because otherwise, sneaker manufacturer will not be what we are today. For sure, it will not be like today.
Other than that, I just believe also like there are some pairs where you just sometimes can not possibly get, that are not released in Malaysia, and you can only get it in a certain region outside of Malaysia. And these are the resellers are the people who have the connections with different people from around the world. So that's how they can help us get that certain pair that you really like as well. Because I believe I got this this runner. It was a Diadora crossover concepts. It's impossible to get it in Malaysia, because Malaysia don't really, some people don't even know the brand Diadora, So yeah. And it was through a reseller that he helped me, connected me to a source in I think it was in Europe, and got me the pair, and he helped me arrange the pair in. So for me, resellers are kind of important in this culture, in this whole sneaker culture as well.
Yeah, I think for the whole culture to be positive, it's prudent for people not to create this hate among each other. I mean, end of the day, it's about what you need, what you want, what you like, what I like. What I like might not be what you like, and resellers are just there, to help people who's been, okay, there are people who has to work on a daily basis, has no time to switch on the computer at 9:50 trying to click the button, or may not even have the chance to secure the pair they need, right?
Yeah.
So they could turn into, there is always a way to say, hey, you can turn your head into resellers and they could help you out.
As we always like to say, willing seller, willing buyer, right?
That's true. Yeah.
So Gary, you've been collecting for 8 to 9 years now. So what are the advices that you have for the young sneakerheads out there, or maybe people who just want to start, getting into the sneaker culture or start collecting sneakers?
I think the most important thing for me that I learned myself is, if you would like to start or embark on this journey, I mean, it's good, basically a good, healthy hobby anyway. Try to ask yourself what you actually really like. Try to streamline into a specific, let's say a shoe collection or a shoe design or a model that you really like, because going down this road is almost like a never-ending road, right? It's not a cheap hobby to begin with, even especially given the young age of collectors and shoe lovers out there. That is the first advice I would give them. Just focus on what you want and stay in line, stay within the lane. And that is my problem also. I started with the retro Jordans and I really focused on it, and then started deviating out a bit, thanks to all the bunch of great designs from the makers, that will
And also
always keep you out.
The influences of our friends in KKSOS.
That's true. And also the medias, people posting, the celebrities when they wear a pair of collabs, you say, oh, I want a pair of it, right? And that will move you out slightly, but try to move back into your lane. And what it does is that end of the day, when you look at your collection, you don't want to end up like pasar malam, a jumble up of everything, right? And this is, at least for me, after 8-9 years, I look at it, I could say, okay, I have a pretty decent collection that stays within a certain zone I'm happy about. And the other thing is, I think also important, equally important, is there's no need to push for buying something, like, because the releases are so frequent these days. Don't tell yourself that, oh, I need to buy this. There's always a pair that comes out. There's always a good pair that comes later. It's endless. Shoemakers, they want to make business as well. Don't follow the hype. Don't follow what the trend is setting. If you can't, unless financially you're fully capable. But don't push yourself into that zone where you struggle with other stuff, other parts of your life. Like for myself, I'm quite blessed with my jobs, with the good income I have. I make sure that I keep the family intact, my daughter, my wife, my parents, everybody is in good shape before you could set aside some money for hobby. Always remember that.
It's really not a cheap hobby to begin with, but compared to other hobbies, like I believe we have friends who collect watches or cars. Like this is a more affordable hobby, but still, like, advice to the young sneakerheads out there: buy what you really like first before buying things that are on trend or like the hype, but maybe it's not what you like. So moving on, this is a question that we ask all our interviewees. What does hype mean to you?
Means a lot of things. For the general wider definition, probably means when you have less supply than demand. Very, very limited supply. That really automatically will create hype, right?
Rarity.
Rarity. Just by attaching like XXX of XXX into the shoe, change the whole thing. And that's what the sneaker maker and all these shoes out there, that's what they're doing, to create this hype, which is equally important to move on with your business, and because over time this seizes down. But for me, I see hype as, because I'm an OG collector. For those who know me well, I always wanted to collect shoes that were worn by MJ himself during the game, that particular colorway, the particular model. So for me, I see hype as shoes that fall into that category. It's very hard for me to neglect them. Even if they cost much more than what I would have to pay for, sometimes I just have to save up the money and probably pull the trigger one day. Just to complete the collection. So for me, that's my definition of hype.
For you, it would be more like anything that MJ wore. So you're a big MJ fan. I want what MJ wore, so I can keep it and have keep it like as an art or as a collection for you to fulfill your. Because when we were kids,
it's a nostalgia, right?
Yeah.
It brings back all the good memories.
Yeah, we always wanted to have this. Like, how are we connected to Michael Jordan? We can't play basketball like he does, but the closest thing is that we can wear what he wore. So I believe that was the nostalgia thing about it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows he's such a great inspiration, not just in basketball itself, the whole person, right? How he pushes the whole sports industry forward is second to none.
He did bring NBA to another level. That's what we can say. Yeah.
It's a global effect.
Yeah. All right, so those are all the questions that we want to ask today, but I'm sure the audiences would like to see your collection as well. So let's go. Let's move on and let's go see Gary's sneaker collection.
Let's go.
So that's right, guys. Now we are in Gary's room, and this used to be where you stay, right? But now you don't stay with your parents anymore. This is your parents' place. And so this is where he keeps all his sneakers and stuff. So obviously, there are a lot of sneakers here, and we cannot go in one by one because it's gonna take forever. So I've actually asked Gary to prepare some shoes that he can showcase today. So for the first pair, I think you should show the audiences your most valuable pair or the most rarest pair that you have in your collection.
Well, there's definitely a couple of limited editions over here. I can pull out. This is one of the limited, as you can see, there's a number on the back, out of 23,000 pair. This was released probably about a year ago. Some of the guys may know it. This is called the Jordan 1 85. So it's released after the famous Jordan 1 in the 1985 silhouette cutting.
So it's the same cut as the one that was originally released?
That's right. So it has almost a vertical back heel here. You can see that the shoe came unlaced like what it used to be in the original days. Yeah. Although it's not the same exact color blocking as bread. Yeah, but they made use of high quality leather. Even the emboss here is done almost exact to 1985.
And it actually has a marking inside as well, is it?
There is a marking also on the insole. I can show. Just like in the past, you know, they had this sneaker saying, okay, where is it manufactured, which factory? Yep. You can show the screen also.
So it's actually made in a sense like how it was made back then.
Yes.
Yeah, just that the color is a bit
as close as to the OG. Yeah. So this is one of the more limited one. And for all the hype beasts out there, this is for you.
Oh, I already know by seeing the box.
The cover of it, double X.
And you already know.
It. You know, take that out. Right. Comes with a dust bag. Comes with a card. Yeah. Whatever that says. Okay.
Thank you and stuff like that.
That's right. And the shoe itself, right? That's what we are here for. Cows 4 in the black colorway. Initially, when it came out, I think it was really a friends and family pair.
Yeah.
And then later, it was released for the public.
Because I remember there was the first pair that was released for the public was the light grey one.
That's right.
Right, and then these were circulated on the internet saying that these were only friends and family, but then they later on released this pair as well.
That's right. So this is one of the very sought after Jordan at the time, I would say.
Even till now.
Yeah. I don't know how, honestly, I mean, I don't know how wearable is this because you have suede midsole. Well, it's very difficult to take care of. You have a glow-in-the-dark outsole. You have the Cows glove logo sign stitched all over the shoes in black. And it's pretty heavy, well-built shoe. I mean, leather inline as well, you can see.
By seeing it, you know that the quality, they definitely put a better quality. Because before this, AJ4 usually uses this plastic or like a rubber type of thing with this tab, right?
That's right.
So now this time they actually use leather.
Leather, yeah.
So
definitely collector item.
Yep, definitely nice.
For collectors. So this I would say is the top two most memorable,
most valuable
shoes. Yeah,
most
definitely.
Shoes. So other than that, how about your most memorable pair of sneakers?
Right. So I spoke about it earlier in the video. The whole sneaker collecting started because of this pair. I got it actually in KL from 17 Gallery years ago in 2000. I believe it's probably 2013 or 12. Yeah. People would recognize this sneakerhead. Yeah.
A sneakerhead would know.
Jordan 11. And that's the Bread 11.
The Bread 11.
Yeah, from end of 2012.
These are believed to be grails as well, right?
These are the grails at the time. It was before this. It was last released a couple of years earlier, and later down they came back again, and very sought after. People queue up for it definitely. As you can see, one of the nicest silhouette.
Yeah.
Even Michael himself claimed that this is one of his
favorites, right?
favorite
The Jordan
shoes.
11s.
Yeah, with the patent leather, the 23 over here, stem over the back, and the red outsole that never yellows. You know, that will not yellows.
Yeah, you have the problem with some of the
fiber.
The outsoles that start to yellow. Even the Space Jams as well, right?
Yes, I can show you that as well if you want to. So that really kick-started for me, and after that, basically I wanted to complete the whole AJ11 collection. And as you can see, I got a whole bunch of 11s here, down here.
Oh.
I could show you the Space Jam since
Yeah, the
you
Space
mentioned it. It's one of the older one, also with the cool gray. So this is also a very hard to find. So
Yes,
one thing that I did not mention earlier during our interview is that what was really different at the time is that it's not easy to come by with a pair because shoes don't return as frequent as these days.
Yep.
You get OGs released every 1 and 2 years. At the time, you have to look for people that are willing to sell off their collection, beloved one, to you.
Yep.
And I happened to came across a guy who wanted to basically sell off his collection, and this is one of the.
So these are the Space Jams, right?
This is the Space Jam.
And these are
with the 23, not the 45.
23.
Yeah, 23. See how yellow they are after.
And these are not worn before.
Not worn. That stopped day one.
Sneakerheads out there who are starting to collect.
Yeah.
You gotta know your shoes. Sometimes if you don't wear it, they still get into a condition where it's not as fresh as how it used to be. Because the oxidization, and we all know that.
That's right.
It's a little bit hard to go back to how they used to be, right?
That's right. And for sneakerheads, I think people who knows it, when they see this yellow sign, they cherish it.
Yeah.
They know exactly these are originals, authentic pair. It's definitely not
a story to tell.
It's a story to tell. And as we all know, it was made famous by that movie by MJ.
MJ wore these in the movie Space Jam.
So these are Space Jam. Iconic pair.
Very iconic to me as well. Yep. So other than that, I think you have a few collabs that we can show as well, right?
Sure. Collabs. I got quite a number of collabs. Probably I'll just give a quick rundown here. We've got the Jordan 11, Jordan 1 to begin with. All this red and black box, iconic red and black box. And then I basically had it arranged in sequence. You've got Jordan 3 here, Jordan 4, 5, 6, some 5 and 7 here. And then move down to 11 at the bottom, 12 and 13 are all placed in this order. And over here I have some collabs as well. I've got some Pata, the one that I really queue up for 4 or 5 hours. That's the shoe. Pretty nice shoe art.
The special box is dope too, though.
Very dope. In my opinion, it's definitely one of the best colorway for Jordan 7. Look at the packaging it comes with.
They really put thought into the small details of the whole packaging as well.
There's a lot of mixed feelings. Some people were saying, oh, they should have the Pata wording on the body, but they had it on the midsole, which probably is gonna fade away after time. But for me, it's cool. It's a very cool shoe.
But if you wear it, probably it will fade away. But
it will.
And then at the back here, it actually has the Team Pata.
Team Pata
as well.
And it has a very unique hang tag.
Actually looks
with it.
Different, right?
Very different. 23 over here, Team Pata.
To me, it looks a little bit different. Like this logo look here looks a little bit different from the normal Jumpman logo.
Yes,
right.
It's a bit different. It's basically turned diagonally.
But this color is.
It's a very cool shoe. Jordan 7 is one of the very clean silhouette. So that's definitely one of the collab I can put here. Another collab. Well, got a couple. I've got the Just Dawn sitting there, but I'll show you
the Just Dawns.
Just Dawns.
Oh,
okay. Those are probably some.
Yes.
Not take out this for a time. Needs no explanation. Supreme box logo over there. Supreme Jordan. I believe this is still the only Jordan
the
to date.
Jordan.
Oh no,
Supreme
sorry. There's a Jordan 14 as well with Supreme.
Yep.
These were quite one of the sought after one as well. Came in 3 colors. I think this is the camo.
Yep.
There's one that came in black colorway and another one that came in the full white colorway.
Yep.
And the camo came in like a fabric type of upper. It has 90, 94
Supreme
words here. It
Yep.
started to yellow as well, as you can see. Has the Supreme logo down there. Yeah, I've got all 3 pairs of them sitting somewhere. Okay, and I can show you as well some non-Jordan stuff, you know. Up tempos.
Oh,
You see what color it is. This is black and gold. I'll show you the black pair. This is the gold pair.
This is the Supreme one as well, right?
The Supreme one as well, as you can see. Supreme box. Another collab. Well, that's a whole bunch. Well, that's important, right?
Yep,
if you're
it
getting
is.
an authentic pair, make
Yep.
sure you get the receipt from the seller, because there's no excuse for not having the receipt. Yeah,
Definitely.
that's the pair.
Oh, these are like baller shoes.
Fire.
You know, the
Fire,
gold
fire,
and the
fire.
white
Yeah,
with the red.
yeah.
It's
And
just
I think a few celebrities wore them as well.
yeah,
I
these
believe.
are timeless.
Yeah, Neymar also wear them.
Yep.
On the social media. They caught them. Yeah.
Yeah, they were
Oh,
photos
nice.
of him wearing it.
Yeah. That's really it. What else is there? Let me see. We've got some more collabs, right? Let's look
Yep.
for another collab.
But as much as you were a Jordan fan, you do collect other brands. You do have like other brands as well, right?
yes, I
Like,
do have
believe
other
you
brands.
Have a pair of Yeezys, right?
I do have a pair of Yeezys here. Let me show you one more collab before we move on, which is the
Oh,
one of the most sought after.
yep.
Not a Jordan. A lot of people may know this already by
Seeing the
box.
corduroy, yeah.
Yeah. And I'll just open it up. One of the very colorful shoe that was designed by Sean Waterspoon for Nike.
This was
Check
actually this was a contest for Nike
Yes.
MX Day, and Sean Waterspoon actually won.
That's right.
So his shoe was actually selected to be released on MX Day that year.
That's right. Yeah.
Mhm.
There
You
you
see,
go.
they have the small details here.
Yeah.
You see, this is actually a patch where you can change. They actually give
Yeah,
you extra patches
they
as
come
well,
with extra patches,
and
plenty of extra laces.
Yep.
Has a smiley face inside.
Yep. Because if you know Sean is a person that dresses colorfully,
Yes.
and yeah, his love for corduroy is just, you know,
Plenty
that's
of
why-
details.
Yeah, I think that's why he kind of designed the shoe in that sense. And this is very rare as well, right? This
Very
mini,
rare. Yeah,
mini
quite-
swoosh on the side.
Yes.
This
That's
is
a bit
also-
uncommon. You
Yeah,
know?
you don't see this on this pair as well. And
Yeah.
the silhouette is actually a different like Air Maxes.
Two
mixed
Air
together.
Maxes.
Yeah.
Exactly. The 97 upper
Yep.
and the Air Max 1 outsole.
Yep. So
Very, very cool. I think the first pair that came out like this.
yep.
By
First ever time that they actually put two Air Maxes together.
That's
into
right.
one.
Let me just move this aside and move to the pair that you just requested. Special request by Mr. Spike. So here's, okay, I don't know how many people remember this box. That's the Yeezy Boost 750. I was just really lucky to own one pair of them.
These pairs were really rare as well.
Yeah.
Like in Malaysia at least, right?
Comes with dust bag as well. And this is basically the grey gum. So out pair. It comes with.
Wow.
It's actually glow in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. As you can see, there's
The Boost.
famous Boost material inside. Yeah. Easy, just like how Kanye likes to rock them. You know, with the strap.
Kanye surprisingly rocked these a lot.
A lot.
Yeah, he wore these a lot.
Well, I definitely hope that this where the strap is. You know, you can unzip them and put your feet in, and that's it. Very premium suede, I would say.
Yep, very.
But I've kept it ice in the box. Who knows? One day I'm gonna wear it or not.
I would wait for that day, man. I would really want to see you in that one day.
Yeah, it's basically like a really fancy boot.
It's a fancy boot. Then you can say it's a fancy boot.
Yeah. Okay.
So I believe that there are around 100 pairs here.
Inside
have
this
a
room,
few-
about 150 pairs.
Around
I would say.
150 pairs, right? So Gary is actually near to 200 pairs.
Close to.
Close,
Not yet.
very close to 200 pairs.
Let's see if we ever reach there. Yeah.
Yep. So basically, guys,
Yeah.
he has a lot more in his collection, but we really don't have the time to show each and every one of it. But hopefully, in the future, we might have the chance again, right? Alright, so that is all for the sneaker part. Alright guys, so we've come to the end of the show today. I need to tell you, Gary, thank you very much for having us here today.
Sure, no problem.
And for letting us see your collection. It was really eye-opening. And I'm sure the audiences really had a good time seeing your collection as well. So if you guys really like what you see today and you would like to see more of Gary's collection, we will include Gary's Instagram here in the screen, and you can follow him and have a look at his other collections as well. And if you like this content, remember to give us a like and share this to your friends. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Search us up, SummerTalk, and that is it. Summer every day. Peace out.